This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by YoungVitalizer.com.
Welcome back. A unique facelift alternative can help you look younger, healthier, and refreshed. It's called YoungVitalizer, and it works by adding your own cells. Even better, it can last for years. The procedure was created by Dr. Philip Young, an award-winning beauty theorist and facial plastic surgeon in Bellevue. Dr. Young joins us now, along with Karen Crape, the co-founder of the Northwest Women's Show, and a YoungVitalizer patient. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Thanks for having us.
So, Dr. Young, let's start with how a YoungVitalizer is different from a facelift.
Well, we feel that the YoungVitalizer is a major improvement in the art and science of facial rejuvenation, because it's based on two central ideas. One is the approved understanding of the aging process, and number two, it's based on my theory on facial beauty called the circles of prominence, which I discovered and received the Sir Harold Duckley's Award by the American Academy of Facial
And
Plastic
basically
Surgery.
that has to do with where the volume is in your face that gives the appearance of youth, right? And trying to restore that.
Right. The aging process for centuries has been sort of thought of as a descent, and through the past centuries, we've been sort of doing a knee-jerk response in terms of pulling it back. But
jacking everything back up.
Yeah, but the aging process is really like a three-dimensional process. And essentially, it's like a grape changing to a raisin. And essentially, your facial tissues move in an inward and downward direction. And traditional facelifts or eyelifts and browlifts essentially pulled it up and back. So if you notice, my hands are nowhere near where it used to be. So the YoungVitalizer aims to reverse that process in the way it had occurred, and essentially move the tissues up and away towards reversing the process in the way that it
Filling it back up, basically.
Yeah. And so what made you decide you wanted to do this?
I'm going to be 60 in November.
You look good.
And thank you, and thanks to him. And I am really active. I work out 4 or 5 days a week, and I knew that due to the fact that I'd lost about 35 pounds when I was in my late 40s, I had sagging and some crepiness going on. And I decided I wanted to do something that looked natural without being stretched or alien-like, as I call it. And
and non-surgical, was that important to you?
Not at the time. And then when I went in to talk to Dr. Young about it, he explained the natural process of how you do lose the tissue fat in your face as you grow older, and how an option would be to actually fill that back up and plump it back up to how it was about 20 years ago.
And so how do you do that?
Well, the YoungVitalizer is based on, we use my theory on facial beauty, and we shape and contour the face and to bring out the most beautiful aspects of the face.
What is it we're injecting back in?
Well, it's your own tissues, and we kind of go through that during the consultation process. But there's so many different ways that you can rejuvenate the face, and essentially I think of it like a block of clay, and literally there's an infinitesimal amount of variations that you can do with that block of clay. So having a theory on beauty really helps us bring out the most beautiful aspects of
the individual there.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you after the procedure to where you felt like you were done and ready to go out in public?
10 days.
10 days.
Yes, I had a little longer recovery, being light-skinned, being older, the bruise situation. And then after 10 days hit, it just every day, and actually during the whole recovery time, Dr. Young had me take pictures and send them, email to him every day to see how I was doing. And then after 10 days, it just gradually turned back to my skin tone color, and then as the weeks passed, all the swelling went down, and it just became to look more natural and more contoured as far as the amount of fullness in my face that I had about 15 years ago.
So that you feel like you.
Yeah.
And you came in without any foundation, just a little bit of lipstick so that we could see that the tone was correct with all of this. How long does this procedure last once you've had it done?
Well, usually when you come in, we have you bring pictures of you when you're 8 to 20, and we try to go for those. We use that, as a guideline, and essentially we tell people it could last anywhere from 8 to 12 years. I think if the way that I think of it is I kind of imagine, you having a twin, and if you had it done, I think you'll always look better than that twin. So that's kind of how I approach explaining that.
All right, let's see some before and after photos of some other folks who've been through the procedure, and just talk me through a bit about what we're seeing.
Well, so like traditionally, the lower eyelid what we've done in the past is essentially take away the fat in the lower eyelids, but really what happens in the lower eyelid and cheek area, you essentially lose that volume and it goes back and it comes back over the eyebrows. So removing more fat from your lower eyelids tends to make you look even more hollow. So our goal is to try to bring back the light, and that's what we do with the YoungVitalizer. We push your tissues up and away from your face the way it kind of naturally occurred when you're younger. And so in this case, you know, she has a better transition. And so
I can really see it here, so that's just plumped back up underneath her eye.
And
that does look better.
Yeah, in this case, we actually added a lot of volume, and the great thing about it is that you don't notice her face actually getting bigger, and parts of it actually look smaller. Like I take a look at the chin, and I can actually see that it's gone smaller. And essentially what we're doing is we're taking that tissue and just kind of projecting it forward.
You're changing the proportion. And then this is the last one we'll take a look at, but we wanted to see a guy. And so that's very nice, too, because you've really straightened out his chin line and profile there.
Right, and his transition from his lower eyelid and cheek are smoother, and it's more of a natural progression into the cheek area.
That looks great. And about how much does this cost?
Well, it really varies depending on your anatomy, and everybody's different.
Yeah,
and everybody comes in with, at different ages. So, but the way I think of in terms of the cost, you could get like a brow lift, an eye lift, and mid-face lift, facelift, and mouth rejuvenation. And if you added all those together, literally it would be 5 to 10 times more than what we would charge for the YoungVitalizer. So it's economical in that way too.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate
thanks for having us.
Looking great over there.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Dr. Young has a special offer for New Day viewers. The first 10 callers will receive 25% off a YoungVitalizer procedure. We've posted more information online about Dr. Young, the YoungVitalizer, details about the procedure, and more patient testimonials. Still ahead, a stunning performance from the amazing Miss Francine Reed. But first, our doctors all return to answer your health-related questions as Wellness Wednesday continues. We'll be back in a moment.